This is the current stock market update for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Before we begin with today's stock market analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. NIO stock has seen some fairly high levels of volatility over the last few trading sessions. Most of that price action has been to the top side, and that specific price movement has been generated by the recent earnings report that has been released and made available to the public. However, in this video, what we're actually going to be doing is showing why some of those numbers are not as positive as people think. There's actually a lot of sort of price manipulation and profitability outcome misstatements that have been made here, and we will be explaining exactly why that is the case in this video. Sell NIO stock, why Barclays thinks the Q4 break-even is a one-time win. So in other words, one-time profitability report that will be seen here, and this will not be followed in the company's next earnings reports. So we'll just explain why here. Chinese electric vehicle maker NIO shares had been on a wild ride after it reported its first ever quarterly profit, surging about 15% at the high point on Tuesday, before slipping 2% in the following pre-market session. While the company celebrated hitting a key financial milestone, this analyst from Barclays, Jiang Xiao, is urging caution. Now, one thing that I want to point to here is that this is clearly not an American person's name. This is a Chinese stock analyst that works at Barclays, and he's urging caution on the stock. So we could talk about patriotism in the United States versus China and all of that, but this is a Chinese stock analyst that's making these statements here. So people should be listening very closely. Currently, Jiang Xiao is holding an underweight rating on the stock with a $4 price target, which implies a move of about 30% to the downside from today's elevated trading levels. Keep that in mind. If his price targets are hit, that would mean a 30% drop from where we are right now. According to the Barclays report, NIO's recent profit was largely driven by one-time cost-cutting measures. Now, this is the major point here that needs to be made. One-time cost-cutting measures. So, actions to reduce costs to build these products that will not be repeatable in the future. They're one-time. Particularly lower research and development spending, so lower R&D spend, rather than a fundamental shift in the business. So this does not mean major sales. This means that they're spending less money on research and development. While the company posted a Q4 net profit of 122 million RMB, or about 17.7 million US dollars, this would be a massive jump from the 7.3 billion RMB loss that was reported during the same period last year. Analyst Jiang Xiao warned that this victory may be an illusion, so it might be fake, is basically what this is saying. Much of this quote-unquote profit came from deep cuts to research and development rather than selling more cars at higher prices. He added that it may be difficult for NIO to sustain that improvement. So will we see future quarters move into profitability? Some people certainly seem to think so. People are getting very excited about this stock on social media right now. But Jiang Xiao thinks that it will be difficult to maintain these profitable improvements as the company scales production, since higher output could push costs up again in the future. So if they're building more cars here, the suggestion here is that the costs for those cars are going to increase, not decrease. And this can be attributed to the fact that they're spending less on research and development. So that's actually a negative, not a positive. The analyst also remains concerned about the intense price competition in China's electric vehicle market. Specifically, car makers such as Tesla and BYD have been cutting prices to win market share. This has turned the market into a tough pricing battle, which could make it harder for NIO to protect its margins. In other words, what this means is that NIO will probably be making less money on its vehicles as costs are rising. Last, we will just take a quick look at some of the current analyst expectations. So we'll look at the broader market here and just ask the question, is NIO a good stock to buy? According to the TipRanks analyst survey, NIO stock has a moderate buy consensus, so a slightly positive consensus rating based on 4 buys and 3 holds assigned in the last 3 months. At $6.30, that would mean that NIO's upward price target is about 11.6%. Now, the price is moving fairly volatilely here. These numbers aren't exactly accurate as far as the upside prices are concerned, But what this implies is that maybe we could be looking at about 15% movement in the upward direction. And that's really not very much when we consider the fact that stocks like Cognition Therapeutics, which is one of the biotech stocks that we purchased in the trading room, saw gains of about 1,200% last year. Now, we are out of this trade. I do not recommend that people enter into Cognition Therapeutics at these elevated levels, but we bought the stock at 28 cents, and the stock moved into levels that were nearly $4 per share. Imagine NIO sees a price movement like that. Really, no stocks that trend on social media ever really do see price movements like this. You have to buy stocks before they're aware by everyone else on social media. You can't buy after the fact. You can't simply watch a YouTube video and expect to make any real money in the market. That is why in the trading room, we do not trade stocks like this. We do not trade stocks by communist stock pumpers like this, people that are just trying to promote their own country's products and things like that. It's completely ridiculous. The market has nothing to do with patriotism. The market will make whatever decisions it wants. The stock has currently seen some upward price movements recently, but we're really just sort of trading around $5.80 resistance. And if we are looking at a potential price movement to the top side of about 15%, that really pales in comparison to the massive stock gainers in the biotech sector that we often look at in the Discord trading community.